and welcome back to Jay and Gus's Art Discussion.
How you doing, Gus?
Doing pretty well.
Good.
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Great, thanks for asking.
I'm excited to dive into these art pieces that we explored.
Yeah, great exhibit. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really talented artists at MSU. It's really cool.
I'm happy to be part of the art program.
We looked at Ryan Groendyk's two screen printing posters in the faculty and graduate exhibit at Kresge. Totally Awesome Fest 6 was one of his screen printed posters. A lot of colors, a lot of layers, a lot of detail, a lot to look at. So this is a very exciting piece to talk about. He had great use of color and texture. On the main image, there was there was a man with very curly hair and a long gown robe.
Long gown, this big beard that just kind of wrapped around everyone.
Absolutely. There were kitties, distorted faces, animals, human limbs, monsters, eyes, drinks, tobacco, a cat smoking a pipe, which reminded me of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. It was Cheshire Cat, right?
Yeah.
The wise kitty, wise kitty.
So cats are wise. And what does this all mean? Well, you're looking at a screen printed poster, which is also used in the 60s a lot with political protest and social action and social justice. So this is something that can be replicated. The public is going to see it. It's accessible, and it's very appealing to the eye. And aesthetically, it really draws your attention. And this all these images are very iconic. So just like I said, kind of cartoony and
Recognizable. And you can recognize them. You were talking about the texture. Oh, you did. Never mind. Especially with everything Gus said, the thing that really carried me throughout this poster was the texture of the man's beard. The way it wrapped around all those like cartoony figures that were kind of like a description of what this totally awesome festival was going to be about.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of music going on, and it said performance, fashion performance,
and pancakes. We didn't see any pancakes in there.
We were looking for them, but
we might have seen them.
I don't know. It was a little. Some of the images were a little bit abstract, which I liked, because then it kind of was like, what is this whole poster saying? But I definitely got out of it some form of politics and social action.
A lot of social action with all those figures like interacting with each other under this man. So like I can only assume. Did you go to the Totally Awesome Fest?
I did, and I had a great time. And you know what? I ate a lot of pancakes and listened to a lot of good music and danced with a lot of cool cats.
So it's
the poster.
It was there. It was there, and like the cool thing was like it was cartoony. So like you weren't really sure what you were walking yourself into, but it was still interactive enough to draw in a crowd, to draw your attention, just like the screen printing was always meant to be like. So thumbs up.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about the Totally Awesome poster?
If anything comes to mind, I'll definitely say
it. Alright, cool. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second one, which was the seascape and skyscape, and this one was screen printing once again, but it was just had two colors. One was the white, which was the background, and then he laid black over with it. Just like with those two contrasting elements, really brought in a powerful statement that I think he was trying to make. And once again, with using the screen printing, it carries a heavy political statement or meaning. Along with that, it's more of like a formal, expensive way of creating a poster. So it was more respectable in a sense for him to use that as a medium. But overall, to 13 ways to the reading, McKeebley's reading. One of the numbers was number 7, and context in the work, rising context in the work. And I really definitely think that this was, it carried an underlining political statement towards like an environmental / green movement, with the use of these like organic shapes, as these like fluffy clouds and kind of like a melting sun in this natural setting of this ocean, underneath a starry sky. And so do believe it was the gestures and the expressions of these clouds and sun,
Absolutely.
yeah, that really were equally representational and conceptual at the same time, to allow the audience and Gus and I to relate, to acknowledge that these were natural shapes that we can see every day, but yet kind of take them into an indirect way. So
I think along with just the gestures of the clouds and the sun, and also the way the waves are kind of going, this continuous pattern, represents our biological and physiological response to
Absolutely.
nature, and this is a very natural and intuitive image that we can perceive in our minds and express on paper, on screen print, something that everyone can see. And it was, also very conceptual again. This is his perception of nature, our perception of nature, something that's very shared. I'm immediately able to have a relationship with the painting, which I think is important.
And even like with the relationship, I forgot to touch on the gestures, the expressions, that the artist was able to get his perspective and his feelings through these like sad or mischievous or kind of like exhausted expressions that he captured in this screen print, and was able to tell us what he felt. And
I think those are very clear statements. McKinley says that that this kind of image represents and expresses a sense of ego clarity about ourselves. So it's very like self-awareness, and you can really look at those images, those gestures, and be like, I've definitely experienced something like that. So very relatable.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And the ability for us to take a direct image and kind of that carries this indirect meaning, is pretty powerful. So, and I think it was conveyed greatly through the simplicity of like the color scheme, and his objects on there is once again very cartoony and open and airy. So
It's really great.
another thumbs up.
Wow, that's all the time we have for Gus and Jay's art discussion.
Thank you.